The type ID operator is used to determine the type of an object. It returns a type info object, which is defined in the type info header. Let's take a look at how this works. Here I have a working copy of typeid.cpp from chapter 6 of the exercise files. You'll notice this include here on line 3, including the type info header. This defines the type info object that is returned by the type ID operator. So here I have a couple of structures defined, and I have some objects defined from those structures. And you'll notice in this line, I'm comparing the type ID of a structure with the type ID of an object. And it's either the same or it's different using this double equals comparison operator. So I'll build and run, and you see that these are the same because A1 is of type A. And if instead I check to see if B1 is the same as type A, then you see that they're different. So how does this work? There's a name method in the type info object, so I can print the name of the type that's returned by that, and I can say type ID, and I'll get the type of B, and it has this method called name, and when I call, and you can see the type is 1B. You notice it says the type is 1B, and actually the type is called B. This name is not actually literal, and it's not by itself terribly useful. There are circumstances where it can be very long and obscure, and it's dependent on your environment. This string may be different on Windows, it may be different on Unix, it may be different with different compilers and different class libraries. So by itself, that string is not terribly useful, but most of the time you just want to know if it's the same as something else. And so you'll be using a comparison operator like the double equals sign to check it against a class or a type that you know in your code. So most of the time you just want to know if it's the same as a given type, and you'll just use the comparison operator. That's how type ID works.